Good morning, Meridian, and welcome to Business Buzz. We're joined here today visiting with Kerry Greenwald, owner and mortgage broker here at Creekside Mortgage. Good morning, Kerry, and welcome to Business Buzz. How are you doing today?
Thanks for stopping in, Sean. This is awesome. Looking forward to it.
Well, thank you. Hey, Kerry, Creekside Mortgage is a veteran-owned company. How does that drive Creekside to participate in our local community?
So I take great pride in being a veteran myself and trying to go through and participate as much as I can. So local chapters, we have a national chapter called VA Rep, which we participate in. We donate $200 for every VA transaction we close in the Treasure Valley to that cause, helping out disabled veterans going through new improvements on their house. It's just a great organization. And every transaction we go through and close to the VA, I always go out and have a flag ceremony at the end, put a flag up on their house. It's something that I've always honored, enjoyed going through and doing, and I just am very passionate at what I do.
Yeah, actually, I've got a team playing in the tournament, the VA Rep tournament next Wednesday.
Cool.
So
yeah, looking forward to that.
Golf tournament. So how does Creekside operate differently than other lenders in the market?
So we're a broker versus a bank. So we have access to go to many different banks to go through and seek financing. So we can take advantage of that. And the fact that we mainly specialize in VA, we've got a lot of our channels opened up to be able to do that. So we can provide a service different than a lot of institutions that they went in. Some banks you go in and there's things they can't do per VA, but VA is pretty wide open. So we can choose or look through each institution that fits that veteran's need for as far as rate, cost, and everything else to go through and do it. We average about $9,000 less in cost to the broker channel versus going directly through a bank.
Okay. You've got a great team here. Tell us a little bit about the Creekside company's culture for working here at Creekside.
So family, I mean, we're truly a family, work as a team unit. And I'm proud to say when we opened this office, 3 people relocated here with me. Since we've been here a year ago, we hired another Nikki at our front desk. We've also just hired a former veteran himself, a service-connected disabled veteran, Jace. So it's really a family culture focused around that veterans helping veterans concept is what we look into. So I love it. I love that teamwork network type thing.
Well, just being here in your office, it seems like you got a great team.
Absolutely.
So you got a good team, you got a good product. What is Creekside's perspective on the current and future housing market and the challenges that we're all facing?
Yeah, just another great question. I saw this week came out showing we're 10,000 houses short in the Treasure Valley area. So I think a lot of people think this catastrophic event is going to happen. We've gone up so much in value, but I think people see now it's based on supply and demand, and there's just not enough houses. And I think people are waiting for rates to peak and start coming down. The problem is when they start coming down, values are going to continue to increase. So, people waiting for the right time to buy a house, when is that? If you're renting it for this much money and your payment's going to be this much money, waiting and trying to time the market's virtually impossible historically. So if it's right for you to get a house, I still recommend to go through and buy a house. Best asset you can ever go through and do. But I just believe moving forward in the future, rates will come down a little bit, but I think values are going to go up.
So, Kerry, rates coming down. I've talked to several people in the lending industry and in the housing market. We're not going to see them back down in the 2 to 3% range. I mean, that was a little unrealistic for a long time.
That was the perfect storm. I mean, U.S. history, the lowest previous to that was about 3.5. So for rates to get below 2 in that time period due to COVID, everything else that was going on, no, we'll, in my opinion, never see that happen again. And also, there's no guaranteed rates ever go down. So people a year ago were waiting for some event to happen this time, and you had the majority of pundits saying, hey, by this time next year, rates are going to be a lot less. And look, rates are actually a little bit higher than they were 1 year ago. So don't wait necessarily. Like I said, if it's right for you to go through and do it, do it. And the cool thing about VA, it's 100% financing. So there's very little you go through and have to put down on that.
Okay. So how can you help a new borrower protect themselves from the predatory lending practices that are out there?
Yeah, it's still going on. I mean, this is something we've had happen just this week. So, to go through and witness someone that hears, such and such looking at my loan right now, and if you run my credit report, it's going to hurt my score. That's predatory lending to me. When they're trapped into something that's a point higher than what's offered by other companies, and they're being told something that's false, you can run your credit report as many times as you want in that 15 to 45 day range when you're buying a house, and you should shop. You always should have the ability to go through and look. I believe local is a better thing to go through versus internet companies, but always keep an open mind about that. But to me, that's predatory lending. If anyone's putting something, forcing them into a scenario and giving them false information, that's the epitome of predatory lending, and it still exists to this day.
Okay. Well, Kerry, what's the best way for our viewers to be able to get in touch with you or your team here at Creekside Mortgage if they're interested in learning more?
Yeah, so we have a website. It's VA Loan ID. So VA Loan for Idaho. It's the best course to go through and do. On there, there's a link to our YouTube channel, which I have a lot of content and videos we go through and produce off of that, which is really helpful to go through and use. We also have the local, obviously our phone number to go through and do is it's represented right here. And then my team email that I'll go through and include in here, the Greenwald team at creeksidem.com. That team email goes to a collective group. There's 9 total on my team. And the unique thing about it, through a negative review I got 3 years ago, and I love talking about this, kind of funny about reviews, but I got a 1-star review, and a person came back to me, they wanted to get a hold of me at 6 o'clock on a Sunday night. And I think that made me actually probably look good, but that's a different story. But we as a company opened it up that we cover all weekends, all nights, and everything else. So someone on our team's always on call. So if you do anything through the Greenwald team, even in the evening, and you ask a question, you're going to be oddly get a response for being a small company. But I pride myself on that, and we work hard on those reviews. You can go through and look us up. I take great pride in get those 5-star reviews. Absolutely.
Pride in service. That's great. Yeah. Well, Kerry, thank you so much for joining us here on Business Buzz today. We hope that this information gets out to our members and they learn a little bit more about Creekside Mortgage today.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. Look forward. I love Meridian, love the community, and you guys have been amazing to me as a chamber. It's just been a blessing to come to this community. My family lives here. My office is here. The Meridian Chamber of Commerce has been just a true blessing to Creekside Mortgage. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Kerry. And thank you for joining us today. Join us September 20th for our Emerging Leaders event, Level Up Your Leadership. This is a great panel discussion on how to be on a board, how to give back to the community and be on a board to serve. There's still some seats available for that event, September 20th. And then don't miss out on our Innovation Forum coming up on September 25th. We've got a great lineup of speakers set for that day. You can still get your tickets online at our website for that. And finally, make sure you've got your calendars marked for Oktoberfest, our 2nd annual Oktoberfest, sponsored by First Federal, October 7th in downtown Meridian. Until then, Meridian, have a great weekend.